So today I find this box, very mysterious box. I don't know what's going in, and what is it? Oh, it's our mums. So in this video I'll show you how to set up drip tube and spaghetti lines and emitters, or and set up drippers in each pot. That's how we're going to do it this year. We're going to try some mums this year and sell at our farm stand. And this is how they come. Coming in a 105 tray. So welcome back to I Know Enough to Be Dangerous Farm. My name is Rob. Today I realize why I always feel like I'm behind. We're switching gears from planting Christmas trees to planting mums. We're going to try our hand at planting some mums this year to sell at our farm stand. So we got to make room, we got to set up a little bit of setup, and what we have to do is the sprayers that I keep in this big greenhouse, they need to go to a different building. Set up some drip tube for the mums because they don't like watering over the top, or you're not supposed to water over the top of mums. So in this process, this is where the sprayers are, and this bigger area we're going to set up drip tube here. I know I'm supposed to have woven black fabric with lines on it, but this is what I have. We're just trying to test run of 200 mums. Here's our sprayers that need to go to a different building, and some of our potted Christmas trees. We had a Mother's Day sale last week. It went pretty good, so I'm going to put the rest of these out for sale. They need to get out of these containers. Good idea to diversify what you do to make money, and so you don't have all your eggs in one basket. So this is what we do. We grow the Christmas trees, and these are our container trees. We put these tags on them. They got nice directions for people to put them outside after they've used them on the porch or something. But we also grow other things that we try to grow is red dogwood, some white pine. These are some cranberry viburnum, and here's some globe arborvitae that we got. So we'll just tag these now, put the price on there, and hope they go. So even though the public won't be in this greenhouse where the mums are growing, I still want as straight as rows as possible, just for the sake of walking in between the plants and getting water and checking that they are getting watered. Because it is a drip system, you kind of have to visually inspect the plants by themselves. You don't want the symptom of a wilting leaf show up. That sometimes that's too late, and if I don't catch it in time, I'll lose the plant. So they will be inspected daily. And the best way to do that in most organized way is to keep nice straight rows, and the woven material they're normally grown on has lines on it, so that's what you go by. But we're going to use what we have, like always, a piece of plastic on the ground. I hope it doesn't hold or retain too much water for the plants. That will be something we look at. We'll use the drip tube as a guide to keep our plants straight, and I'll show you how we do that. What we'll do is we'll roll out some drip line, and so it doesn't kink or coil, we'll roll it. This is a small area. Normally we have a machine that we throw a roll on and it unrolls it in the field, but in this small area in the greenhouse, we're just going to manually unroll it and then stake it down so it doesn't coil behind us. So what we're doing to stake our drip tube down is, they're called sod staples, but when they're rounded like this, I think they're more of a drip tube staple. Sod staples to me have a flat top or a 90 degrees here instead of this rounded thing. It really doesn't matter, but this will hold the tube down behind us and keep it nice and organized for us. This end will make the manifold. I just want to show you my partner in crime today is this big old toad. You know, I have no problem with toads in the greenhouse. They take a lot of insects and other pests out of here. So I'll leave that toad in here. He does more good than harm, so he'll stay in here. He's probably looking for a new house because I cleaned all this area up. So we'll leave some extra here. This is where we'll put the manifold down here. We'll give a little room for us to walk on the end. Then if you unroll it, if you're doing it by hand, just unroll it and it won't coil on you. So the proof is in the pudding, as my grandmother used to say, and here's proof that I do not throw away anything. This is an old brake rotor off of something obviously pretty small that I have no idea where it came from, but we'll use this for a weight for the end. Oh, I am going to step on that toad if I'm not careful. I'll wait on that end so I can unroll this. So some of the specialty tools that I'm using today is a poly pipe cutter, and this is a hole punch for drip tube. This is kind of, you really need this or something similar to this. Don't use a Phillips screwdriver or something like that, or an awl or anything like that, because it's not going to fit well. You're going to lose pressure and it's going to leak. And you could get away with, you know, using a jackknife or a utility blade for this, but this is faster. It sets it in this little cradle and then you cut it. But this one you have to have. This one, you know, whatever. But if you're going to do you know, some of this kind of work, you might want to invest. These tools are not much money at all. Most of it's plastic anyways. If you're doing short runs like this, you need something to weigh it down. So anything on that end, I'm going to weigh down, and then the heat and the sun will help it stretch out and lay by itself once it's been installed. But here's the cutter, and it sets in here, and cuts it nice and square. There's no burrs or anything. Very little effort to do that. And like I said, try to uncoil this as you're laying it down. Otherwise, it's going to want to coil back on you, and then you're going to have a snake, and it's not going to stay straight.
So now that I have a couple out, I'll take these sod staples they call them. You can keep these in a whatever you want to do. I hook them right on my belt loop, and then I can just take one off like that when I need it. I have the little stick that you can do that has a magnet and goes like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm not smart enough to use it, but it doesn't work very well. Let me get these a little closer together. I'll use this first one as my benchmark. And like I said, I've never done this before, so I'll do 16 in between, because the container is 9 inches wide, and then you want a head size of probably 12 inches, and you want some air in between. So 16 sounds good. That's what we're going to run with. And if it's too tight or too big, we'll know next year. But if you had the fabric with the lines on it, you wouldn't have to do this. But the place I usually get it from was closed yesterday for some reason. That's the problem with shopping at the places with the best. It is local. With the best prices, sometimes they don't have the best business practices, like being open. So I'm trying to get as precise as possible, but you know, we're not building the North Church here.
the drip tube in place. We'll put some ends on this so it doesn't flow, and then the other side we'll have a manifold coming down. We'll bring some irrigation water down here, and then we'll hook up this filter. Very important, we'll have a sediment filter before the valve that turns on, and then we'll have that really fine micron filter before it goes into the drip tube. What'll happen is these are the drippers, and they have gallons per hour on them. They're different colored. They're just different gallons per hour, so that's why they color code them. So we'll punch a hole in this drip tube, and I'll show you all that. But I'm lacking some parts from the distributor. It doesn't take much to plug these drippers, so you have to have very good filter system prior for it to get into the drip tube. Okay, so once it gets here, it goes into the plant, and we'll show you that too. And we're gonna get some sticks that go into each pot. Otherwise, I've used those staples before, but these are reusable, and we could put the spaghetti. It's called spaghetti hose. We'll put that hose right in here, different notches for different sizes. So we'll put this in the pot, and then this dripper will be like that, dripping into the plant, giving it sufficient water. So these are the pots that we're going to use. So we're going to use Frankenstein to fill these. And of course, we have to modify Frankenstein again. So what we made is, this is the sweep for the pots. Here's the sweep we made for the trays. So when it comes through here, it sweeps it off nice and level. And here's the sweep we made for the pots. And it'll be attached right in here. And the pots will come out, and it'll do this the whole way. And I'll have a nice level growing medium by the time it gets to the end, and then we'll do the planting at the end. And it should go pretty fast. There's only 200 of them. We're going to put most of them in these, and we have some more decorative pots that hopefully work with this, but if we have to do 5 or 10 by hand, no big deal. But this is what I came up with. The color doesn't mean anything. I made this bracket. I didn't bore you with the 8-inch vise making this bracket information again. So it's just what I found on that site that used to sell books, but now it sells everything but books. And this is what's going to work. And we'll mess with the speed to see. My lovely assistant will help me with this tomorrow, and we'll get some footage. She won't be on camera, but she'll be there helping me sending these in, and we'll get some footage of that working nice, and hopefully there's not too much setup time. And we'll take. So they'll go in here, get filled, get planted there, and then they'll go out where it's going to be irrigated there. And hopefully we have mums this fall to sell.
This is how you put 200 plants in one 16 by 16 box. They seem very nicely rooted. I'm excited. Coming in a 105 tray. It's not a TO Plastics tray, but I won't hold that against them. We got two different varieties to sell or try. You know, the traditional yellow and... Did they just send me yellow? Looks like all I got is yellow tags. Okay. There's the first phone call of the day. No biggie. Yep, they just sent me yellow. But anyways, we got a yellow and a pink. It's more of a hot pink. They all look pretty good. So what I'll do is I'll water them, throw our hat into the mum growing world. So as you can see here, I start pushing the plugs out with a little wooden dowel, like a 3/8 dowel. They do make a machine for this, I'll show you later, but this is the best way on a smaller scale to dislodge the plugs from the plug tray without damaging the roots or the top of the plant. Here I'm trying a sod staple. It doesn't work as good. It'll work in a pinch, but you could also try a pencil. Pencil works also. Here we're just planting one plug in each pot. These containers are a little bit more decorative and they're smaller, so we'll just put one plug in each pot. Once we get to the bigger containers, we'll put some doubles in there. They get a bigger head size. You can make more money on them. As you can see, these plants came in very healthy with good root structure. Sometimes they'll be in a box a little bit too long, they'll get hot and start molding, but they came in about 2 days. So very good shipping from this company. They don't supply the tags, but you can buy the tags, which were very affordable from this company. They just forgot to send the purple ones, which hopefully they'll send after I contact them. Here's some of the doubles we planted in the larger containers. Like I said, you can just get a larger head size faster when you put two in. They do make a tool for planting this size plug. It's a little dibble planter, but the medium is so soft and loose and clean. Your finger is the best. Your fingers are the best tool, and it's faster and all around. You can use a tool, and gloves if you want to. Here's where the TO Plastics plug popper comes into play. They make a machine that plugs all these, or pushes the plugs out of these trays all at once instead of doing it one by one. So here's the finished product. We have two different colors. We have yellow and burgundy. And then some of them we did single, and then we doubled them up. It makes a bigger finished head.
So we'll get the parts for the drip tube we need. And there'll be a manifold up here coming to a valve and a controller. Pretty neat. Our first time trying mums. Stay tuned.